This is Abnormal Entertainment.
2, 3, 4. Walked into the tunnel just to find the light. Hunted for old demons, looking for a fight. Looked up at the stars, seemed to go forever. There must be a way, it all fits together. Fell into the quicksand, held on to the vines. Never could quite color, stay within the lines. Feels like I have wings, I can fly wherever. This is just a way, it all fits together. Finally saw the world through rose-colored glasses. Gonna share my journey to small and large masses. Give up on my life, no sir, me never. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together.
Hey everybody, this is Daniel Garza. Welcome to another episode of Put It Together. I'd like to start, as usual, thanking my producer, Mr. Kevin Moyers, for all his help and support. Thank you, sir. Inviting all of you to check us out at abnormalentertainment.com. We invite all the shows on the network. Check it out. There's something for you guys on there. Please follow me at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Little Mexican LILMESICAN. We invite everything we're doing at the production company. Go check out Zodiacs with Daniel and Wayne every 2 weeks, Monday nights at 7 o'clock on Facebook Live. So go become a friend, like the page, and you get all the informations. I'd like to start really quick because we're going to have a lot to talk about today. Batista, and I'm going to say your last name wrong, so say it for me.
Gremaud.
Gremaud. That's
Gremaud.
Beautiful. Where's that from?
I'm originally from Switzerland.
Awesome.
Yeah. In my hometown, everybody's a Gremaud.
Is that like Smith in America?
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yes.
So thank you for letting us come into your studio. It's your studio, home?
Just studio. Yeah.
Studio? Okay, cool. You are co-founder of the International Institute of Body Design. Mm-hmm. You're an author. You're an empowerment speaker. Yes. You got more titles, so instead of me writing them down, I'm going to let you tell folks everything that you do.
Okay, so I am a personal trainer, certified personal trainer, which I got my certification because I was so excited to find out more about what the Dr. Fitness USA system does, and because it's actually not at all like personal training, but when you're interested in a topic, I want to know everything about it. So I did get my certification in personal training. I'm the co-founder of the International Institute of Body Design, empowerment speaker. I love speaking about the importance of strength training for women's health, specifically, even though we work with men too, but I have a soft spot for women. And more specifically, women over 40.
Okay.
Because that's when things start changing.
Yeah, of course.
And so I'm an empowerment speaker. What did I forget? Number one best-selling author. Number one, yeah. So the number one bestseller is Feminine Body Design.
Okay.
Which I wrote in 2015, became my number one bestseller.
Nice.
Thank you, and that's also the book from which I developed our online programs for women. So it's a whole package.
Well, we'll get into all the details of all that. But for the show, first question is, how did you put it together? How did everything start?
Okay, so I was a professional entertainer. I was a dancer, I was a ballet dancer and a flamenco dancer. Okay, my whole life. And when I turned about 40, when I got in my mid-40s, things started to change. Even though I had been fit my whole life. Of course, as a dancer, you kind of have to fit in the costumes, you know. But I had a lot of injuries, and I was really kind of losing, you know, the grip on really what to do with my body. I was gaining weight. I was just a lot of injuries, and I had tried everything. I had done all the stretching modalities. I've done all like the acupuncture.
Everything that works,
you know, chiropractic, massage, voodoo, you know.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm 57, so I understand.
Yeah.
Once you hit a certain age, your body just doesn't want to do what it used to do.
It
no matter how much your mind wants it to, your body's like, nope, not today.
Not today. You know, it doesn't heal from injuries. And, you know, as a dancer, my whole life, it was always about the show must go on.
Right.
So, you know, if you have like something that goes wrong, you can't just quit or not show up, you know. So when I got to my mid-40s, I started to get, you know, in pretty bad shape. And it was very worrying because nothing was working anymore. And I have a background in spirituality and metaphysical science and, you know, this concept that you can manifest your reality. I you know, spent 35 years studying this. And one day I was in my meditation class, you know, and I looked around and I saw a lot of middle-aged people that their bodies were kind of falling apart like mine, you know? And I kind of woke up and I said, you know, something is missing. What's missing in this picture? Because here we're learning about the body-mind-spirit integration. We're learning about grounding the body. We're learning all these amazing tools that help us to create our reality. But yet our reality starts with our own body, right? And I mean, look at me. You know, I can't, you know, I couldn't lift my arm. I had chronic back pain. I mean, you know, I was a mess. But I saw that was kind of like the same for the people around me. And I said, no, I know too much. I've been in this world of creating and positive thinking and the power of the mind and, you know, all this for too long to just let that happen.
Do you think that it's a common theme that sometimes people who are very much into their body disconnect with the mind part, or people who are very much into the spiritual disconnect with their body? There hasn't been that connection?
I think that it's something very typical, and I think it's actually kind of logical, right? Because if you're more intellectual, then you're going to park yourself in your mind and in your thinking, and if you're very physical, then you're going to park yourself, you know, and I mean, look at bodybuilders, or you know what I mean? There's not much balance.
Yeah, there's not a whole bodybuilders that we see doing yoga or mind meditation
or things like that.
Because they need to concentrate on their body. That's their mind, right?
So I see it that the ultimate health, really the ultimate enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it, is really when you can get that integration, so that you can be grounded in the body and that you can also access those other universes. As a matter of fact, I think that people that are very much into working with energies, I really believe that it's actually missing, that they should, we don't like to say should. We don't like to, could or would benefit greatly in incorporating something like strength training, something that's very grounding, because when you're a lot working with energy, then you're kind of living outside of your body.
Yes.
And if you do an opposing activity such as strength training, which is very much in the body, you know, you lift weights and you have to really be grounded, then I think that makes a really good balance. And also because it's, especially in our program, it's very strengthening to the nervous system.
Okay.
You know, and working with energy sometimes can be hard, you know, on the nervous system, I think, and that I believe that that's why often people, start gaining a lot of weight or lose the grip on their body because the energy has to go somewhere, right?
Yeah. Now, I want to go back before we continue on that. How does somebody from Switzerland get into flamenco?
Okay, that's a good question. Yes, so my mother was a ballet dancer and my father was a mime.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
So I was brought up in the dance world, and so I started ballet when I was 3 years old. And so I was going to be a ballerina, that's it. That was my entire dream, that was my mother's dream. My father wanted me to be a nurse because he said dancing is too hard of a profession, so you better get something, but I wasn't going to be a nurse. So I became, I went to Holland when I was 15. I went to the dance academy. I became a ballet dancer. But what happened is when you are a ballet dancer, oftentimes you practice or you have to do a little bit of everything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I took some modern dance, some jazz, some Martha Graham, whatever, and some flamenco. And the first flamenco class that I took, I absolutely fell in love with it. It was love at first sight.
That first step.
That first step, the rhythms, the castanets, and the flowers in the hair, and the big skirts and the ruffles. Oh my God, it was just like love at first sight. So I started studying it, and my mother was a ballet dancer, and when you're a ballet dancer, ballet is everything. So for her, flamenco was just kind of, So she didn't really encourage it too much, but me, I couldn't stop. I was playing my castanets day in, day out, footwork, rhythms. I was obsessed with it.
For people who are not dancers and maybe not familiar with flamenco, can you take us back to that first time that you put on the skirt and danced? What did you feel? What came over you?
It's so passionate, it's so fiery, and the costumes just makes you feel like you're completely on top of the world.
They're very ladylike, yet very domineering.
Yes, and the rhythms, it's so intricate, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah, where from the spectator point, where a ballerina is more demure and reserved in her move, flamenco dancers have to be very.
Yes, very, very, but also because, I was always a little bit shy too, I still am. And there's something, even though ballet is beautiful and it's amazing, I never really felt that comfortable in those pink tights.
The tutu just wasn't enough for you, no.
The tutu, it just didn't, I didn't. It wasn't my thing.
It wasn't there.
I love the dance, but the outfits and stuff. But the flamenco dresses, that was, and the colors, Did
it give your alter ego a personality?
Yes, exactly. Because since I was shy, then when I was dancing flamenco, I could kind of just let go of that, And when you're on stage, then with all these dresses and all this stuff, you.
So it seems like you come from, even with your parents being performers, there's a discipline that comes with being a performer, a mime, or a dancer. Ballet is very disciplined.
Absolutely.
Flamenco is even though some of it can be a little freestyle, there's the steps have to be delivered in a certain way.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So you come from this history of your story is about discipline, and then we're bringing back to turning 40. You stopped that discipline.
I didn't stop it. It's just that what I was doing wasn't working anymore. So I was still watching my diet. I was still, busier than ever. I was still practicing every day. I had a dance company, a dance studio. I was working in the schools. I was very busy. So it's not that I stopped the discipline. It's just that at that point, my body said, this is very tiring or whatever, and it just wasn't responding. And I wasn't recovering from my injuries.
And I say that because some people would stop and say, oh, well, you're getting older. You're not working out as much as you used to. Maybe you should take care of yourself a little better. But it's not that. It's that our bodies are not responding.
Yeah, and also what I've learned through the last 10 years with this Dr. Fitness USA's program is that, in fact, and especially for a woman, all that stress and all that working out, like really pushing, is actually really damaging to the immune system. Yeah. It produces a lot of inflammation in the body, and that's one of the reasons why the body just says, hey, no more, and then it doesn't respond anymore. So there is explanation for that, because now I learned a complete different way of working out and taking care of myself that doesn't involve doing that anymore.
What does that, and before we get into the final elements, but that change, because I want people to understand, women and men,
yes,
that your body starts changing. It's not responding to the same things it did before. What does that do to your mind? Anxiety, depression, frustration?
It's horrifying. It's horrifying. When you've always been on top of everything and you've been in control, and all of a sudden it's really kind of losing control, that what you know doesn't work anymore. It's especially as a performer, it's devastating, and very scary, because if you are working with your body and your body is your tool, and your tool breaks down, and you don't know how to fix it, then what you going to do? It was very scary.
Was that even more frustrating because you came from a world where you knew your body? I danced when I was a kid up to high school. So growing up, I knew when something was not right, something felt off. Again, all of a sudden you're like, well, it feels off, but that's new. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with this. Yeah, it was like, and everything I was doing, nothing was working.
Because it would be easy to give up.
Yes.
Yeah, and we find a lot of people after 40 who get in that situation. They've practiced a sport. They've done something to keep their body lean. Food is not responding the way it used to. Your body, and some would just give up. And we have a lot of overweight people, and then folks will judge and say, well, you should do something. And you're like, I am trying to do something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not working. Yeah.
So we go back now to you were in this meditation class and watching everybody. What's the first thing that came to your mind that you could do different?
Okay, so what happened is I was a firm believer that you can manifest your world, and I had studied this whole thing for 35 years. I started in my 20s, and it's like I woke up. I said, no, now it's the time to use those tools that I know I have, to use them to manifest my next step, because I know there is a solution. I know there's something out there that I haven't tried yet, that I don't know about, and that is going to give me my body back.
Wow.
That's what I said. I said, I know that is, because otherwise it was like all the classes that I had done for 35 years in that field of manifestation, if I wasn't able to do that at that moment, then it was just a joke.
Right.
Right?
35 years of studying for nothing.
For nothing. So it was in this very studio, because this was my dance studio, then. And I was organizing meditations here. And I took my whole group, and I said, okay, we're going to create a mock-up board, and we're going to, that's it. I need to change something in my life. So we came, we were about maybe 10, 50 people in my meditation group. We came here, lit the candles, and did the whole thing. And I created that intention, that something was going to come into my life that was going to change that and give me my body back.
Now, for folks who are not familiar with manifestation and setting intentions, can you explain to them what it is to you and what your process is?
Yeah. So the way, basically, to make a long story short, because it's a long process of learning, but basically it's a way of releasing negative energies that might be in the way, so you can kind of let it go, or, there's different ways of doing this, like imagining like something that drops down to the earth and just releasing the energies. So first it's a matter of releasing, so because if you don't release, you can't add something new, right? So it's kind of like if everything, right? If you have too many clothes in your closet and you don't make room for it, then you can't put new clothes in, right? Same
I understand the closet concept, yes.
Yeah, so we gotta let go of some things. So that's the first step. And it's, in this case, it's energetic.
Right. So what were the things that were blocking you from moving forward?
So sometimes I know what they are, but sometimes it's just a matter of looking at them as colors, because I think that sometimes we know that something is in our way, but we can't really pinpoint what it is. And I found with all my years of learning that it's not always necessary to really know what it is, but because the body has a certain intelligence that sometimes the mind doesn't necessarily comprehend. So I often just let go of it in terms of colors, or textures or things like this. So as like in this case, and I think it works really well, because then you go beyond what you think.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, because I recently, in the last couple of weeks, have gone through my own manifestation and journey. But for me, it's a wall. I always imagine the wall, and I spray paint in my imagination all the things that I feel are blocking me. And when I break that down, then I can see the actual things behind that.
So that's a kind of same concept. Yeah. So that's that. And so then what I do after that, I bring like I see like a gold color that I bring back. And it's also, I love working with colors because, it works for me. Yeah. But I try to bring the colors from all the energies that I may have left somewhere. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because we leave a lot of energies everywhere, right? Yeah. So I try to bring it back into like a golden color over my head, and then I bring it in.
That's very beautiful.
Okay, so that's the energetic type thing that I do. But what I also do, and in that particular case, since I wanted to manifest something very specific at that moment, and I knew it had to do with my body, healing my injuries, I knew exactly what it was. I didn't say I want to manifest Dr. Fitness USA coming into my life, because I didn't know what it was going to look like, okay? But I knew the outcome that I wanted to manifest. So what I do is I do a mock-up board, okay? So now it's easier. Back then, it was 10 years ago, I was still doing it with like newspapers, and cutting little pictures and putting it on a mock-up board. Now with the internet, it's easier.
Yeah. So for those of you who are listening or watching, what we sometimes call a vision board also, and I've shown you my vision board in previous episodes where I've cut out stuff, and there's one thing that's left on my vision board, and that's almost 5 years old. Okay. But just so you can understand where we're going, visualizing, manifesting, and the energy that she was talking about, when you sit down after listening to this episode, think about everywhere that you've been in your life ever since things started blocking themselves, or things did not accomplish the way you wanted them, or you left things halfway done because you ran out of energy, or motivation or stimulation, whatever, think about everywhere that you were and the people that you were around and the energy that maybe you were in the middle of a project and a friend showed up that had a problem and you left your project to help your friend. Well, that's energy that you left behind that you need to go back and pick up and gather. So think about all those, and I can guarantee you'll realize the moment that your dreams or your goals, you took a detour and your life went in a different direction. Think about that, folks.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes we don't even realize what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why for me, I like to do it in colors, because then I don't leave anything behind
That's right.
that I'm not thinking
I'm gonna try
about.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. So where was I?
So you did your board.
Oh yeah, the markup board. Yeah. So we were like 10 of us here, and we were releasing the energies and doing all that. And they say, well, it's in the Bible. They say when there is more than one person gathered, then there's more, more power. I believe in that. That's why I got all my friends,
Nice.
to help with the manifestation. And so I made the markup board, and then I just visualized and made an intention that thing that was going to come into my life.
Okay.
I was serious.
Yeah. It sounds like you're like, this is not going to stop here. Nobody's going to get in the way.
That's it. So then that was it. So then the next day, I was working in a restaurant. I had a dance company, so I was the entertainment
Okay.
at a restaurant in Marina del Rey. And it was noon, and I was there to speak to the owner about terms and, a business meeting with the owner. So I was there, and I was waiting to talk to the owner.
Yeah.
And there is that man, kind of buff, he's sitting at the bar, and he's waiting for lunch. So kind of check him out, I was single. I was kind of looking,
A little business, a little pleasure.
Yeah, I was single and available. So we made eye contact, okay? And so then he comes, by my table. Conveniently, the table was kind of on the way to the bathroom.
Oh,
so,
well, That's the good thing about having a table by the bathroom. Almost everybody will walk by your table.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that was that. So then he looks at me and he says, "Who are you?" And I say, "Well, I'm Batista." And then I look at him and I say, "Well, who are you?" And he says, "I'm an international body designer."
Wow.
I looked at him and I said, "That's what I need."
Not you, but what you're doing.
Yeah, but that's what I need. I couldn't believe it that just the night before I made that whole hoopla with intentions and all this, and then this guy comes by and he tells me I'm an international body designer. So I said, "That's what I need." So he said, "May I sit down?" And I said, "Well, yes, of course." So we started talking, and that was the beginning, okay? Because everything that he was telling me, it was, I had never heard anything like that, okay?
Wow.
All his concept, the philosophy behind working out, and it was, the programs were based on strength training, weightlifting, and trust me, that was the last thing on my mind, okay? For many reasons, because not only I was so hurt that even the thought of lifting something heavy, it wasn't in my consciousness, I didn't realize that you really need to, if you're in pain, to so I learned a lot, trust me. But at that time, it was weightlifting, and then I was a dancer, bulk, big muscles, but I was in pain. I was losing the grip on my body. I had tried everything. I had prayed for this, and there it was.
Right. And sometimes we forget that when we are praying, manifesting, it doesn't always come in the way that we want it. It's in the best way for us. And we have to trust that the universe
We have to trust.
knows
Exactly.
more than we do. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I said. I said, you know what? That's it. That was my answer. So I hired him.
Nice.
I hired
Of
him.
course.
I said, okay. And we weren't dating. It was nothing like that. It was business. You know, I wanted my body back. He had a solution for me, and I said, that's it, you know. So I started on this system. You know, it was very scary because it was about lifting weight and a good amount of weight.
Wow.
Okay? Like in my first session, in the first 20 minutes of my first session at Gold's Gym, Venice.
Wow.
I mean, you know, I was like the dancer, right? And I was like kind of at Gold's Gym.
For those of you who don't know, Venice has, it's very known for having the big muscle.
Well, Gold's Gym Venice, if you don't know what that is, it's the mecca of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
This is the gym where Arnold trained, all the big bodybuilders train at Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I have a collection of pictures now with every
Big muscle guy.
because now it's fun for me, you know, it's actually very entertaining. But that was my first experience. Okay, so in the first 20 minutes of my first session, I think that I was leg pressing 350 pounds.
Wow. That's impressive. I'm not a lifter, but I know that's impressive.
You know, and comfortably. I mean, it was a little scary, but he knew that I could do it. He was there coaching me, and he said no. And you know what? That put my back in place.
Really?
Within a couple of weeks, I had no more back problems. Gone.
Wow.
Because he has certain ways of certain ergonomic ways of putting the body with certain pads and things so that you protect the curvature of your spine, and then the weights is kind of a little bit like a massage, you know, so like a chiropractic adjustment.
Wow.
But then you also build the muscles. So what happens is you start building the muscles around the injuries, and injury gone. Okay, me who had a frozen shoulder, I couldn't actually, you know, from flamenco, I couldn't lift my arm. In my first session, and I was really panicked about that, I have to tell you, but he had me do a chest press with 25 pounds dumbbells in each hand. I mean, I couldn't lift 1 pound of anything without any pain. And I did that, okay? And it was like, wow. Wow. And it was scary because I had a bad shoulder, I was injured. But somehow I managed to do it, and the shoulder pain took a little bit longer than the back to heal. But within maybe 4 months, 5 months, the injury was completely healed, along with my bad knees, my bad Achilles, you know, everything that was.
So, I guess in a way that makes sense to you, if you could give that moment where you are pressing 330 pounds, what color would you give that feeling?
That was very red.
That makes sense, man.
That was very red.
Yeah.
Because I'm very sensitive to energies and things like that. And I got to tell you that I had things coming through my mind, like for who believes in this or who don't believe, I don't know, but that's what happened to me, is I'm pretty sure I relived a lifetime where I died in an earthquake, I think. You know, I had these kind of visions, you know. Right. So many things happened at that moment. It was very revealing. But it's like a lot of negative energy got released at that moment, you know. And this is why my next book, which I call Stronger Than Medicine, okay, I'm going to talk about the connections between mental health and this, what we're doing, because I am absolutely convinced, because I have the experience, that you can actually really use this method to release negative energies trapped in the muscle tissue, and that you can really regenerate neurons in the brain We've worked with addiction recovery, and we've had amazing results in people in recovery with this because it's very grounding and very empowering. It's nothing like what is known in the fitness industry, which has to do with running up and down stairs, jumping on boxes, doing walking lunges, or what is done in the fitness industry. This is not that. Okay? And to me, it's one of the pieces missing of that body, mind, spirit integration. As a matter of fact, sometimes, because I like studying all that stuff, sometimes, like I recently researched again, the Vitruvian Man, Leonardo da Vinci, like the perfect man, and I was reading that back in those days, the temples were built according to the dimensions of the perfect man.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I got to think, like Leonardo da Vinci had it on paper of what that should look like. Right? But how do you manifest that in the body? Who has a tool to actually restructure the body so that you can move bone tissue, kind of muscle, where you can really rebalance things into proportion, into balanced, proportions. How can you do this? Well, running is not going to do that.
The standard
is not going to do that. This will do that, because you're working with weights and you're working in a very balanced way. And we have a way of correcting muscular imbalances in adjusting the amount of reps we do and weight and things. And so sometimes I think that this is like this Vitruvian Man, or that philosophy, that's a tool that Stephen is channeled to come to bring to the world.
Because for those of you that have been following me for the last several years, you know that I both practice energy work, and I'm also a recovering addict and alcoholic. And a lot of my health issues, in order for me to get better and feel better, there's always, I've talked about this, if you follow us also on Zodiacs, there's the grounding effort. You have, in order for anything else, I believe, and this is my belief, for any other of the chakras or anything else in your body to actually work for you, you need to ground yourself first. You need to have those roots. You need to have a foundation. And we've talked about the foundation many a times with many other guests. If there's not a good foundation, then everything else that you build on top of it is not going to work. So it seems like this is going back and reworking the foundation.
That's it.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I like to compare it to the Three Little Pigs story.
Mm-hmm. That is so funny. I was listening to the Three Little Pigs in my car.
Oh, you were?
On the way to LA this morning. That is really funny. So go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Because actually, it is like that. You have the Three Little Pigs, and the one that builds the house with twigs and whatever, and then the other one takes more time, and he, builds good foundation and bricks. And when the big bad wolf comes, then the house stands. And the big bad wolf is, life. What comes to life, the tragedies that we go through, the whatever. That's the bad weather of life that comes. And then if you're not strong, what do you do?
That is a great way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So for those of you that are we're still early on in the year, it's only February, but if you are still working on your goals for the new year and what you want to accomplish, think about that. Look at your foundation first. What's in your foundation? Is it strong enough? Will it hold up against anything? And if it's not, then we're going to continue talking about the method so that you get an idea. Maybe this is something that'll work for you. Now, is this for everybody?
Okay, this is a double sword question. Okay? Because the truth of the matter is everybody would benefit from this, right? Because it's so amazing and it will transform anybody's life. But the person has to have a mindset, right? Not everybody has the mindset to want to be more, or to even know that they can be more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a person that doesn't have the mindset, then it wouldn't,
the transformation wouldn't happen.
you know what I mean?
And I believe that that's true for any lifestyle change that you
Yes.
want to make. If you do not believe that you deserve better, you will not achieve better.
Yeah, exactly. And also I'll give you an example. And we talk to people and stuff, and so they ask, oh, what do you do? And so we tell, what we do. And then a lot of times the person, instead of going, oh, that's interesting, tell me more, or like, oh, really? So you mean that there's more to blah, blah, blah? The person would answer, oh, well, I do yoga, or, I hike, or, so they go into what they do as the answer to all, without really having the openness to ask questions, or to
Right.
or to go, oh, what you're telling me is different, tell me more. They think that because they're doing something fitness related,
Right.
that's
That's it. That's it. Yeah. My way is the best way, and okay, your way is for somebody who's never done anything. Kind of thing. Yeah. I get it.
And so then there's nothing to do. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to, what. So no, it's not for that person.
Right.
The person that's already fit or doing something for themselves, and they have a vision that there has to be something more available, because for whatever reason they want to grow as a person, or they want to improve themselves, or whatever, for whatever reason, then that person will listen and say, that's interesting, tell me more. That's for that person. I'll give you an example. Just very recently, I reconnected with a very old friend, 20 years ago, in a business meeting, and so it was nice to see him, and say, oh, what have you been up to, or whatever. So he actually owned a personal training studio for like the last 15 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so he was in the fitness industry and whatever, and he had just split with his partner, so now he was branching out to a different job, but he was very versed in personal training and fitness, and he had a client he was working with that owned a gym and all this. And Stephen was there, and we started talking to him, and Stephen started to tell him about what we do. And he completely, his ears perked up, and he said, really? Oh, so the next day he was in our office, and he's already on our program. See, because he had the vision that now he's a little older, and there's maybe a different way, and that he could maximize the benefits without training every day. That
Well,
mindset.
let's tell people now about. I've been calling it the method, but or the program that you have.
Okay, so the program that we have, we call it the Body Design Formula.
Okay.
It's a formula, prescription strength training. It's a prescription. Okay, literally. And that's a system that Dr. Fitness USA has perfected over the last 50 years. Okay, it's been doing this for a long, long time. And it's a series of strength training exercises that are done in a very specific way. So the body is always ergonomically, safely placed in a machine, so that the person can reach the amount of weight that they need to make structural changes in the body.
Okay.
And that number, that magic number, is not the same for everybody. So we're not talking about lifting weights like bodybuilders, so you always want to do more weights. It's just the amount of weights you need in the specific way. And there's different ways of doing it. There is a way where you can work one-on-one with us and have a completely customized program designed, and research your gym of where you live. So the goal is always for the person to be independent. Because if you're not independent and you don't have the education to sustain the program through the rest of your life, then
Right.
it's not a waste of time, but it's not sustainable.
Right.
Where are you going to be when you're 70?
Right.
Right? You're not going to hire a personal trainer to hold your hand when you're 80. You know what I'm saying? So we teach education. So that's one way to do it. And that's what I did 10 years ago when I met Steven. All right. Now,
just to continue the story, that stop on the bathroom continued. He didn't leave, so...
You never left. Yeah.
Yes, we'll follow the next story because we'll be talking to Steven in the next episode.
Yeah.
But
So
he never went away.
He never
Did he
went
make it to the bathroom?
No, I don't think
no.
so. No, he didn't make it to the bathroom. No, actually what happened is a few years later, we started dating and then we got married and, so it's a beautiful love story as well, which is really sweet. So my manifestation, you see, you never know.
You never know what you're going to get. Yeah.
Because I wasn't trying to manifest a husband,
But the universe said, well, we're going to give you a new body and a husband. And a husband. There you go. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, there you go.
Coming back around, what did that do for your state of mind to realize that here you are, and in comparison to other women, you're a thin woman. Some would say a short, she's this short little lady, lifting 330 pounds. And we're talking about the mindset, and you've been stressed for a while because you can't. How does that start changing the way you see yourself?
It's so empowering. I can't even tell you. I walk into the gym, I own the gym.
That's awesome.
Okay? And I lift more weight than some young studs that are next to me, and they're struggling and are grunting and growling, and me, I'm doing more weight and I'm smiling, And I'm not bulky.
No, she's not. She's not.
I'm not bulky, I'm stronger than ever. I have no injuries, and that happened really quick. And that is so empowering that it just changes everything. It changes your entire universe. I literally regained 15 years of my life, really. So when I look at pictures of 10 years ago of myself, I mean, literally, I looked older than I'm now, and it's been 10 years. So it's hard to even explain what it does, because it changes not only the way you hold yourself, the way you act, because when you're strong, life becomes a lot easier.
Right. Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
And when you're pain-free, that's priceless. But that feeling, it literally changed the way you think.
Yeah. Because, again, the people that have followed the show know about I'll be 18 years, 8 survivor this year, plus 2 years, well, actually, will be 3 years cancer survivor.
Oh,
So I always tell people, pain is a common thing, arthritis, any kind of thing. Like my body's always in some kind of discomfort. Would I be a good candidate for a program like this?
Absolutely, the best, because you have a good mindset. You've been in pain, you've survived. There is better. You've already. I mean, you just told me you got your Reiki license when you were cancer.
Going through cancer treatment.
Through cancer treatment. That's a pretty good mindset.
Yeah.
So you already know that you have the power to manifest, and if you believe in it, that you believe that you can be pain-free and have a new body, and you go through the process, of course you could do wonders.
Yeah. And in fact, I'll reveal the pictures soon enough, but I just took, we're recording this for everybody watching, we're recording this on a Tuesday, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. I have to think about it too. When you make your own schedule, the days get twisted.
Uh-huh.
But on Saturday, I had my first photo shoot without a shirt on, because I have a colostomy also. and I hadn't shown anybody my bag. And I had my first pictures taken without a shirt on Saturday. So those of you watching, if you're interested in my journey, I will reveal those pictures soon enough. But you're right. It takes a certain mindset because I 6 months ago I wasn't even ready to take my shirt off. I still.
So watch out, because in 6 months from now,
I might. You never know. This again, manifestation. Because I've been looking for something. I suffer from depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder because of all the health issues that I went through. So it's very hard, and that's why I was talking about the mind earlier. It's very hard for my mind to allow my body to make any changes for fear.
Yeah.
Because of everything that my body's been through. And I know that I've spoken to some of the folks listening out there that we share that. Our body has been through so much that our mind is going, don't worry about it. Stay where you are.
Yeah. So you are definitely a really good candidate for that, because as I was mentioning earlier, with this process, because everything is so balanced, and so safe, and really rebuilding from the inside out. And when you do this process, and I explained earlier the visions I had when I was doing my leg press, and if you're sensitive to energy and you know about these things, you can be aware and you could literally feel things leaving your body. Some of these trauma in the cells, in the muscle cells, because the body has intelligence, it has memory, muscles have memory. So what you're saying is really true. The body suffers from trauma in the cells, and through this process you can start to release them. And people usually are not aware of it, right? They just go through the system. But when we work with people one-on-one, or sometimes people react in different ways. So sometimes they start laughing hysterically, or you know what I mean, or sometimes they start crying, or whatever, But it's kind of like it's emotional that leaves the body. And I compare it a little bit. When you do massage, or when you do Reiki, or when you do things like this, you can also release energy from the muscle tissue. But this is like a you do it yourself,
right.
So once you have the technique, then you can go at your own time, you do the program, and it's self-healing, something that you do for yourself.
And for those of you listening or watching, not to boast myself, but I used to be, before cancer, I was a dare person. People would dare me to try something new. I'm like, let's do it. I double dare you. Let's go do it. And I would try anything at least once, just to see if I enjoyed it, or maybe it wasn't for me. But that's how I got hooked up in so many selling things and buying things. Because I would go, let's go try it out. Lost a lot of money in those processes.
Okay.
After cancer, I developed this love for to say I can't.
That it can be healthy to say no.
Yeah.
But
like maybe like you were saying, and it kind of got to me when you were saying that no matter how much your brain was saying something is not working, we got to change it. And as soon as you said, I was like, I can relate to that. Because what I did before, my body is not the same now than it was before cancer. And for anybody out there who's gone through cancer, you can relate to this, or any body altering where you have to have, because I had to have chemo and radiation, your body goes through changes.
Yes.
And you sometimes it's not possible to do exactly what you did before.
Absolutely.
It's just not possible.
It's not possible.
So you have to adjust. So when you were speaking, I was like, I wish I could take that out of my vocabulary and say, let me try that at least. Let me try that.
Absolutely.
We're kind of getting to the point where we send some words of wisdom to our listeners.
Okay.
So I'd like for you to look at the camera and share your words of wisdom with anybody watching. Maybe somebody out there who went through the journey similar to yours, or is sitting there like me saying, I can never do anything like that.
Well, if you say you can't, then you can't. Because that's the way it is. One of my favorite book is The Little Engine That Could. I used to teach young children, so I'm like the stories, but it's really the truth. Whatever you put your mind to it, then that's where you're going to be stuck. So a good exercise to do is just to say, just like the little engine that could, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can, and just dare yourself to walk through your fears and try something different and be open-minded to allow new information to come in, because when we stop learning, we stop growing, and we stop growing as individuals. So if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards, because we don't stand still. There's nothing that stands still in this universe. We move forward or we move backwards. So you can actually take some small steps each day to move forward, and that could be simply by saying something like, I think I can, or opening your mind every day. We meet people, and sometimes your angel could just be somebody you meet in the store that says something, but we're so into our cell phones. You know, we're going to life with binders, and just open your eyes, see what's out there. And if you're listening to this show and you're listening to what I'm saying, then hey, go to the website drfitnessusa.com and give us a call, because maybe that strength training thing is your next step towards your evolution, towards greatness, you know? Because a lot of, you know, even if you do yoga or you're not a gym person, you know, there's so many opportunities.
That's such a common. I'm glad that you said that. People, I started to say that. Oh, I'm not a weightlifter. I don't lift weights. I will stretch. I will balance. I will try anything. But now I'm not a. But once you've tried everything else and it doesn't work, it doesn't bring that peace of mind. And that was my next question. Have you found that peace of mind? Have you found that comfortable place in your life, in your head?
Okay, so yes and no.
She says with a laugh.
Yes and no. Because I'm in a good spot, okay? I'm strong, I'm healthy. I've gone through many traumas, not the same as yours, but you know, life goes on, and my dance studio burned, caught on fire, I lost everything. Both my parents died. My mother was found decomposed in the bathtub. You know, things happen that are really hard and traumatic in life, and we have to move forward. And it's not that life is always easy. Okay, so I found my peace of mind. My peace of mind is that I know that I do the best I can every day. That I do. Okay, that I can do. I can say with certainty that I'm not a quitter, and that every day I get up and I'm going to do the best I can. You know, and some days are harder than other days. Life goes on, and some days I'm just freaked out like everybody else. You know, I don't pretend to be like enlightened or anything. You know, I'm a regular person. But what I do have, though, is I have tools.
I'm so glad you said that.
Okay, I have tools, and one of my tools is my body design formula program. I pick up my gym bag and I hit the gym, and I go on my, go do my thing. And when I come back, usually I'm in a better state of mind, and I have more energy, I feel better, and we're back for another day, you know what I mean? So I have tools.
That's excellent. So for everybody watching out there, can you repeat where they can find information, how to contact you?
Yes. So you can go to drfitnessusa.com, and doctor is DR, it's the short version, drfitnessusa.com. And on the homepage, you will have a chance to click on to get a free report, so you can learn more. And you can also click on the other link, which will enable you to make an appointment for a free 30-minute call.
That's right.
So if you want to talk to us, then and then we're on social media, Dr. Fitness USA, everywhere.
So what would a person get in that 30-minute call?
In that 30 minutes call, we would evaluate where they're at, what their goals are, and if they're a good fit, if they would be a good candidate for this program, if they have the mindset, and if they just want to, know more, if that would, if it's something that would be good for them, or if,
Right.
So it's just a short, we call it a discovery session.
Okay.
So, just
basic an intake kind of thing.
Where are you at? What are you doing for your fitness? Do you have any injuries? So this could be better if you did this or that. And then what are your goals?
So very specific to the person.
Yeah, very specific to the person.
Because you're obviously a lady, and to the ladies out there who might have that mindset, and I'm trying to break through the whole, I don't lift weights, I don't do gyms, they're going to judge me, they're going to criticize me.
Mm-hmm.
What words of empowerment can you, because you've been through it, could you share with ladies to let them know that this is okay? That this is something
okay, so it's like this. And I'm going to steal this one from Stephen, Dr. Finesresi. He always says, not too long ago, we were making phone calls with a dial phone. Okay, then we had a flip phone. And now we have the smartphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so things change and technology changes. And as we grow in technology, we discover new things. And strength training is for women. It is for women over 40, 50, 60. It's never too late to start. It's the new number one scientifically proven anti-aging sport for women and men. Okay? It helps to regulate hormonal imbalances. It helps with your weight. It helps with your immune system. It helps with rebuilding muscle mass. It has so many health benefits. And no, you are not going to look like Arnold.
That's always a good thing, because you never want to look like Arnold when you're wearing dresses and high heels.
It's not going to happen. First of all, rest assured that if you wanted to be a bodybuilder, you have to be so disciplined and put so many hours to even get to first base. It's not happening. Okay? What we're talking here is having a balanced physique. We are talking about health benefits. We're talking about looking and feeling 15 years younger very, very quickly, healing injuries. We're talking about getting strong so that you can have a better quality of life. Weightlifting is for you.
Excellent. Thank you. And then my last question, because we're running out of time. We're down to the hour.
Okay. Well, I went fast.
Yeah. So I tell people when they come on the show, it's such a nice conversation sometimes. Not because it's me, but...
Well, you would help.
Thank you. What color is your life now?
My color is goes between silver and gold. It blends.
That's a good combination. That's a good color, silver and gold.
Yeah.
That's a good... Join the club. Yeah, I totally agree. My hairstylist does a good job, but it's going to peak out pretty soon. For those of you watching or listening, I've been talking to Batista Gremaud. Trying to say it right. Author, empowerment speaker, co-owner of the International Institute of Body Design, co-founder. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One of the best things about this job is that I get to learn something new from everybody that I talk to. Mm-hmm. And after almost 200 episodes, I've learned a whole lot. But there was a lot that you said in the beginning that I saw myself and I was like, wow, I've been there. I've been in my head and worried and frustrated and depressed and upset and mad. So mad that your body's not reacting anymore. Mm-hmm. But you're giving me a little light of encouragement, like,
I'm glad.
Maybe we'll be reporting from a gym to you guys sometime, and then the next time you see me, maybe I want to be like Arnold. You never know. A little Arnold.
You never know.
Once again, before we go, where they can find you, where they can call you, and all the information.
So go to drfitnessusa.com. Again, doctor is DR, drfitnessusa.com. Download the free report, give us a call or schedule for that 30 minutes discovery session, or call 424-245-6560, and we're approachable. We actually pick up the phone. And we're on social media, Facebook, Dr. Fitness USA, Twitter, LinkedIn.
All the important ones. We'll make sure for...
YouTube.
Excellent. You'll find this video on YouTube, both in mine and their website. So make sure you check out for that. So for those of you watching or listening, I will have everything on Facebook. You know where you can find us. So go to Put It Together Podcast on Facebook, and all the information will be there with photos and the interviews. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also probably find this by now on a podcast site. So go to abnormalentertainment.com. We can find all the shows on the network, including this episode. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Such a pleasure talking to you. For those of you watching or listening, this is Daniel Garza with Put It Together Podcast. Again, thank you, my producer, Mr. Kevin Moyers, for all his help and support. Thank you, sir. Inviting you all, again, check out abnormalentertainment.com. You find all the shows on the network. There's something out there for you, so go check it out. If you want to follow me, check me out at Little Mexican on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Also, Little Mexican Productions on Facebook. You can follow everything we're doing on the production side, all the shows. For now, for Batista and Daniel, this is, hey, put it together.
This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together. This is how I put it together.
Subscribe to Put It Together on iTunes, Stitcher, and at abnormalentertainment.com/putittogether. Find Put It Together on Facebook and tweet Daniel at Lil Mexican, LILMESICAN. And for more podcasts, comics, books, movies, and more, head to abnormalentertainment.com.
You've been listening to the Abnormal Entertainment Network.